Hey everybody, how's it? Aloha. Alright. No one loves me, and neither do I. Them Crooked Vultures. I'm going through, my suggestions, and, I'm getting around to people's suggestions. I know you guys are hanging in there and still dropping on all my social media profiles. Hang in there. I'm doing this because I love it, and I promise I will get around to your track eventually. Anyhow, so never heard of Them Crooked Vultures, let alone this song. And so let's go ahead and have a little bit of fun. Want to support the channel, buy me a cup of coffee. If you see the ads, you know the story. Copyright claim, they're not me. Doesn't monetize my channel. So anyhow, let's do this. No one loves me, and neither do I. Them Crooked Vultures. All right. Super cool engineering and composition structure. Now, the first thing that struck me was the fact that the drums, which is usually the center of ambiance, and what I mean by that is a lot of times the snare is set to dictate the depth and ambiance. And what I mean by that is, since my decompositions as the Decomposer is for the pure listener, I like to explain these things. It's kind of fun. A lot of times when you hear a snare drum in a song, it has a depth. And what I mean by that is, even though it's one drum that's in the middle, when it's hit, a lot of times the room or the reverb is what fills up ambiance, left to right kind of vibe in your headsets, or if you're listening in front of stereo speakers. And then a lot of times the instruments are placed around that as a center. This is just a general statement. This drum kit sounds like it's forced mono. So in other words, everything is right here. There's no width, or maybe no overhead mics or something, or in the decision to produce it in a very organic, pure way. They kept the drums really straight in the middle right here. A little more than normal, definitely a lot more than a lot of the tracks that we listen to here. So what does that set us up for? Well, it got us into a nice groove, but then when the musicians started coming in, they didn't have to be a hard left or a hard right, but you can hear how they were positioned in different parts of your headset. They had that little multi-toned cowbell holding a percussion here, and then they had the guitar doing the riff over here, and the guitar is holding a very melodic riff, not the kind of riff we're used to on this channel, which is a lot of notes like a lot of that. This has actually got a nice melodic riff to it, and it's a constant. And then the da 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 da. There's another guitar handling that. So I don't know if there's two guitar players in this band or if it's one guitar player that's doing overdubs. So you have that going on there. Hook is really fun, really fat, really punchy hook. And so I'm just, without goobering, I'm going to keep going on this because there's a couple of other things I want to pull out, but I want to get back to the song because I've kind of got it rolling around in me right now, so stand by. Here we go.
Don't get caught off guard, don't hold it against me unless it gets hard. Well, if sex is a weapon, let's smash boom pow. How you like me?
one more thing I want to say really quick. Oh, don't worry, I'm going to scroll back and we'll roll into this. Another thing that I really super dig about this is that this lead singer, of which you guys know, I don't listen to the lyrics, I don't read them on the first listen because I want to just respect them as a musician and just try to take the whole thing in. I like his laid back approach to performing this, even though it's really rhythmic, what he's doing in his melodic arrangement. I like how it's really laid back in his approach, kind of sitting a little bit back in the pocket. And then the other thing I wanted to say is, remember I was talking about ambiance and room noise. Something else that's really cool, and actually this is a technique used in the early 70s. The guitar here, that seems to be the principal rhythm/lead guitar, has a room sound to it. If you listen to the reverb, it sounds like it's being played in a room, but that room is isolated just to this side. So it seems like it was a super nice decision for the engineer producers, involved to do this engineering mix purposefully this way, I think, to give us a little bit more of an organic rock blues kind of vibe. And another thing is that this guitar player on this side is doing a lot of really fun wrap-up phrase playing. While the melody is being sung, which is really cool. That's kind of that old school loose rock blues kind of vibe and energy, where it wasn't like, oh, don't ever step on the melody, don't ever step on the singer, with any kind of counter melodic work. And I like that. And then on this side, this guitar player seems to be having some fun, still repeating the phrases, but now a little bit more with a slide kind of vibe to it. Super digging How cool is it that right there they decided to completely change the makeup of everything I just explained? Up until that big bombing hook bomb right there of a sonic change in the composition and arrangement. How crazy cool was that? That's great for the listener experience. And what they did there, obviously, it almost seems like it was a completely different song with the engineering. And so now they decided, okay, now we're going to give you some real, stereo dynamics in it. Obviously, it's easy to hear. There's that one big beefy super guitar, like a little more on this side, but definitely has a hard left and right vibe to it. They completely changed the configuration of the dynamics engineering-wise, of the drums. And now this guy is still very riffy. This is a riff bomb song. Multiple riffs. I got a couple feelings of like, only because of my soundtrack of life, a lot of times I'll go back and, there's a little fun Zeppelin-ishy kind of approach to this. But I really dug that. That's great for a listening experience. And I don't know how well known this song is, but I'm almost going to guarantee you that any one of these Them Crooked Vultures fans really took off on this one, because this is really serving up some really, really super cool dynamics. Musicianship, songwriting, composition, real riff bomby, and then they just threw this in at you, and that was that to me is like, This was some good producing going on here in engineering, as well as musicianship with the band, but from top to bottom, giving you guys that experience.
Every single taste you get, gods. I know how to be controlled. Do opposites of what you're told. Quick to react, to break the box, and turn on cue as your cell door locks behind you. I know how to be lost in lust, not because you should, but because you must. It burns white hot, and so clouds the mind. This lightning strike isn't always kind, so use me up. Use me
That was I love the fact that you guys heard me say this before about the power and simplicity, and that's a good thing. And what I mean by that is this was really a riff heavy track, and the drummer who could have played as insanely crazy an arrangement as we've heard in a lot of the drummers that we've heard here. Like if you were to give this track to maybe Mike Portnoy or any one of these number of drummers that I've done drum cams on, you know, even Danny from Tool, would have came up with a different type of drum playing. But what I love about this is while the riffs are firing, the drums are boom, bow, boom, bow. It's just kick, snare, kick, snare. It could have been like if John Bonham, let's say John Bonham would have got a hold of it. It could have been boom, boom, you know, they could have approached it that way. That's the beauty and the power of arranging. That is the difficulty that the pure listener just wants to enjoy the song. But what I'm doing here as an old composer in the Decomposer Lounge is just bringing a little bit of just my own knowledge and my own experience, my own point of view, seriously, only my own point of view, to what it takes to write a song. And what happens if you do make a decision like that as a producer, writer, composer, or song that can completely change the energy of it just by saying, well, everything sounds great, but let's say drummer, instead of going just really square, why don't you go ahead and add something? Now all of a sudden it just drifted into a different kind of vibe. That is what arrangement and composition is all about, and is making those decisions. No. I want to keep this wailing. Just like Living Colour's Cult of Personality. You know, that real straightforward. This was really super cool. I've never heard of this band. I'm definitely going to take a bigger look into their catalog. Please let me know of any songs of them that you'd like me to check out. You know that when I listen to a track first time from a band I've never heard of, that there's probably so many colors, sonic colors to their catalog. So, you know, this may not be your favorite one of them that I did, but drop them in the comments. This is a great thing for you and I to be going through. Thank you so much for your support. If you see fit, buy me a cup of coffee. Link will be down below. A link down below for their music, Spotify, and any merch from them crooked Vultures. All right, guys, listen, have a killer day. I'm off to go do my thing. I'll see you guys later. All right.